Hi, my name is Eric. I am a copywriter here at Crutchfield, and I'm here today to talk to you about the Naim Uniti Atom integrated amplifier. So it has power built into it, and this one also has a very nice digital to analog converter, which is very important because the thing that I think that this component does best is streaming music. If you like to stream music, this is going to do a wonderful job. You'll notice that it has a built-in screen, which is one of my favorite features of this device. It's a very high-resolution screen. It shows you album artwork and all of the controls, things like that. You can see them on there. It's not a touch screen, but you do have this handy built-in rotary dial here for turning the volume up and down if you happen to be standing next to it when you want to change the volume. All of those features are mirrored on this handy remote, which you can use, but you can also use your phone and the Naim app, which we will talk a little more about. 40 watts per channel in comparison to other integrated amplifiers might not sound like a lot, but this does have a very powerful transformer inside, and it gives you very high current power. So I hooked this up to a pair of Wharfdale bookshelf speakers that I have at home, and the 40 watts was plenty. I turned it up about halfway and I could hear it throughout the entire house. There are some streaming services that you can use that are built into this as well when you're using the app. You can do Spotify Connect, Tidal, or Qobuz built into the app, and then there are also a lot of internet radio stations as well. You can plug this into your home network, but it also has a lot of wireless features as well as built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth with aptX, which is a codec that offers you a lot more high-resolution music streaming if you're using Bluetooth. It also has Apple AirPlay, Google Chromecast is built in, and it's a universal plug-and-play component. And anytime you're streaming music, you're going to be able to have an uninterrupted listening experience because there's a 5-minute buffer built in here. If there's any kind of a problem with your internet connection, you're not even going to know it because you're going to be able to finish out the song using that buffer. Probably the best way to control the player and your streaming services is to download the Naim app, which is available in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store for free. I used it, and it's pretty cool. First thing you want to do is make sure that the component itself is connected to your network so that the app can recognize it. But then once you've done that, once you've got this set up on your network, it becomes very easy. I just downloaded the app myself and started using Spotify, and I was able to just choose a device while I was playing a song, and it jumped straight to the Uniti Atom and started playing my music through it. Another cool feature of the Naim app is that if you have multiple Naim devices, not just the Uniti Atom, but any of their devices that are in this family, you can use them in a multi-room setup, and the app can recognize which device is in each room, and you can choose separate devices to play separate streaming services, or you can play them all together as a whole home system. It's really versatile in that way. So there's a relatively simple back panel on this component with a few connections for your wired devices. There are 2 digital optical inputs, and then there is also a digital coaxial input. If you're connecting something like a CD player or something like that, you have an option to do that. There is, of course, 1 RCA input for analog sources. And we've also got something that's very useful if you want to use this as the centerpiece where you have your television as well. There is an HDMI input. And that HDMI does have audio return channel, or ARC, so it's definitely set up to handle television signals. And you can make a direct wired connection to your home network using the Ethernet port on the back. If you like to use network-attached storage devices or a USB stick, there are USB ports on the front and back. Like, I would probably put the USB stick in the front and attach the hard drive in the back. Then you can be using both interchangeably. Now, 40 watts per channel was enough for me. You may desire a little more power. If so, you can use this just as a preamp and use the preamp outputs on the back to connect to your preferred power amplifier to kind of boost the power. Naim devices come with these connectors in the box. These are 4mm connectors that they use exclusively. You do not connect bare wire directly to the back of the machine. Now, I would only use these if you're very comfortable soldering bare wire into a connector. Typically something like a speaker wire with banana plugs already attached is going to do just fine. That's what I used, and it was incredibly easy to hook up that way. So the headphone jack built into this one is a 3.5mm jack. If you are a serious headphone listener and you have a nice pair of headphones, you may want to look for the Naim Uniti Atom Headphone Edition, which has a headphone amplifier built in and that 1/4" jack for the larger headphones. So I did use this myself in my own house, and I really enjoyed having it there. I've listened to a number of different integrated amplifiers over the years, and this one really offered a lot of functionality in this interesting form factor. It doesn't take up a ton of space in your sound system. It's also just very nicely made. Like you can see, it has this brushed aluminum top. It's everything about it is very high-end looking, and it's got a decent amount of power. I was able to hear basically my bookshelf speakers throughout the house, and it pulled out a lot of bass out of these Wharfedale speakers that I use, which is not what they're known for. I was pretty impressed with how it was able to power my speakers just with what's built into this box. So that's the Naim Uniti Atom integrated amplifier. If you have questions about this component or other components in the Naim family that work together, contact us here at Crutchfield. Our knowledgeable advisors will be happy to help you decide which is the right component for you.